Welcome to Lost Culture, your one-stop destination for everything pop culture. My name is Aston, and today we're going to do a non-spoiler review for Doctor Strange. Whoa, my mind is blown. Like, I enjoyed this movie so much. This movie is amazing. Like, there's nothing more I can say. Like, yes, it had a couple of down parts, but overall, this movie is great. And one of the biggest part of it is like the special effects. It's like the special effects, honestly, is like a character which is within its own. Like, this special effects are great. Like, I don't know, like, I didn't get to see it in 3D. I just saw it in regular format, so I'm definitely going to check it out again in 3D. The IMAX 3Ds, I get the full aspect of the special effects. But what I've seen so far, the special effects were amazing. So I can't tell you to go out and watch. Like, the only way to see it is with the 3D IMAX. I haven't seen it in that format yet. I will be seeing it by the end of the week, and that'll be in my spoiler review of how I like that version of it. But as of right now, I've seen it in the regular format, regular 2D, and it was amazing. So the special effects are great. Going from there, the casting. I love all the casting. Like, Rachel McAdams, she played off of Benedict Cumberbatch really well. We get to see Mads Mikkelsen as a villain. With Tudor, I always mess his name up. Tilda Swinton as the Ancient One was great. It's just so many great characters. Like, just the casting was great. The development of the characters were, I don't want to say lackluster, but it could have been better. That is like one thing I will say. Marvel did focus on Doctor Strange a lot in this movie. I think they had to, honestly, but other characters did suffer from it, so their plot lines doesn't have the effect I think they were actually going for by the end of the movie. But even with that being said, just the development of Doctor Strange from where he began to where he ended at, it was amazing. Like, it's just that transition to see that, and that was the real reason. I feel like that's like the real reason for Rachel McAdams is she basically grounds him. Grounds him. She basically grounds him, and it's great to see that. The story was good. It was a couple beats that, yeah, it was a couple of incidents that happened, but that was still, like, the overall story was still great. We still get to see really we only get to see Stephen Strange in the whole movie. I love Mordo. Like, Mordo was great. I love the Ancient One. I wish we got more of the Ancient One, honestly. But what we did get of the Ancient One was great. I love her fight scenes when she's fighting or when she's training Doctor Strange. They're great. Even when she's like lecturing them and putting everything into context for him. It's great to see that. And for everyone that's upset that Tilda Swinton was cast as the Ancient One, they kind of like corrected that within the story. Once you see the story, you'll see what I mean. It kind of made that the Ancient One is more of a mantle. Well, yeah, there's more of a mantle rather than just being a character. So we don't know how many Ancient Ones there have been. There's been multiple ones in the story that I don't think it's really a spoiler. It doesn't really affect the story at all. But everyone that was like upset about the whitewashing of that character, we don't know how many Ancient Ones there actually been. So they kind of fixed that within the story. Some people might consider that as a spoiler. I don't really consider it a spoiler because it really has no effect on the story at all. But it's just a little character about her, little build about her character. Now, just going through everything, we get to see like Mordo. We get to see the honestly, I feel like Benedict Cumberbatch should play he played like two different people in this movie. Because we see the Doctor Strange, and then we see like Stephen Strange, I'm sorry, Stephen Strange, and it's great to see that. One thing I will say is, like, I'm calling, like, once we seen what was it? Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they're playing with the Darkhold book. That has nothing to do with Doctor Strange, honestly. They don't even mention that book in Doctor Strange. So I don't know what. I don't know. Maybe that's why Agents of Shield is using it, is because they didn't mention it at all in Doctor Strange, but it usually does pertain to Doctor Strange lore. Now, going from there, what is it? Character development. We got to see oh, the humor. The humor, I enjoyed it. It doesn't take away. I know a lot of people had issue with the humor in Age of Ultron. It does not affect this movie at all. Like, it honestly adds to every scene. Like, when we get the humor, it's great to see. Like, even when when there's a character named Wong, when Wong and Doctor Strange are interacting with each other, there's a lot of things that like the humor used for that relationship. Even with Mordo and Doctor Strange, when they first do like the from the trailer, everybody's seen this scene, was the Wi-Fi password. That was a great, when you put it into like the context and everything, it was great to see. Like, it was like, it just doesn't, everything just adds into it. Either it adds onto it or it does nothing to the scene. It's great to see that. And another thing about this movie, just the level of it. It's so different from any other movie we've seen. Honestly, it feels like the whole universe is being reborn, honestly. It feels kind of like Iron Man. Soon as I started watching this movie, that is what I felt. I felt Iron Man. Like, this is just the newest version of Iron Man. We see, I don't know what's going on with Tony in the future, but it seems like maybe they're going to be kind of centering the world around like Doctor Strange now. Doctor Strange is a great character. This movie has like, I want to like talk about certain stuff, but I can't really talk about it without giving spoilers. I guess so. Like, we seen like the Thor, what is it, the different realms of Thor. So I want to know how everything we were introduced to now into everything we were introduced to from Thor ties in to Doctor Strange and vice versa. I feel like Thor's the next movie coming out, so I feel like hitting it on Thor won't be too big of an issue. Is once the greater MCU comes in, which we'll love to see how that affects that. Now, going from there, the reshoots. Like, a lot of people were scared when we heard reshoots. I don't really get worried about reshoots. Most major movies does the reshoots at this point in time. We see it's not like a Suicide Squad or I guess the Justice League out there, but Suicide Squad, they didn't really affect. Like, yes, they did reshoots. Obviously, they probably added things into it to make the movie better. But the difference is, with here, it didn't change the movie. It only brought out certain aspects that they wanted to bring out more, like the humor. The humor actually made Doctor Strange like a better character. The humor, it rounded off the story a lot better. It made different scenes and different moments in the movie more memorable because of the humor. It's great to see things of that nature. And there's not really, it's hard to talk about this movie without getting into spoilers. And I don't know, like only thing I can really harp on are the special effects. I love how when you see the trailer, you've seen how the worlds were folding into each other and things of that nature. Like, I see it basically its own character. And I love how with all the big action scenes, the big fights, everything that's going on, they still manage to keep you like not grounded, but you understand where you are, what's going on over there. Just to keep like your location, basically. They can keep your locations pretty stable, not really stable, but you understand where you are in context to the world around you. Even though all this crazy stuff is going on, you're still understanding where you are for each shot. So when you go to, I don't know who to go to, maybe like when you go to Doctor Strange, you understand what's going on with Doctor Strange, while what's going on with Mordo is, Mordo. So it's cool to see that. One thing I gotta say about the bad guys, the villains of the story, they needed a little bit more character development. They're not quite like they're on par with the rest of Marvel villains. They're not quite Loki, but they're not quite like they're not the worst villain we've seen by far. They're definitely not the worst villain, but they're not the best. They're they're just right under Loki, I would say. Well, I don't know. I'll say Red Skull. I'll say Loki, Red Skull, and then them. But and I wish we got more backstory for them because the only issue with that doing their like they need like there's so much to talk about in this movie, and it's hard to do it without spoiling it. So like the bad guys, you see them come in and out, but you never get to see the true. Like I wish you could have just seen what caused them to get there, what made him decide to do this, to do that. It would have been a lot better to see that. We never get to see a full scope of why he made these choices or why he believed in what he was doing. And like I said, the villains are good enough. They're just not on a Loki level. And it's like, we know Marvel is discussing this. They're probably going to improve. We see they're bringing Loki back for Thor. I don't even think he's going to be the protagonist. I mean, be the antagonist for Thor. He's going to be another protagonist. But no, we haven't had any attachment to the villains like we've had for Loki. Obviously, Thanos, we've known Thanos, what, for 11 years now? 10 years? It's been a while. We've been knowing Thanos for a while. So I hope they can fix that by the time they get to Thanos. Now, you're probably asking, is there any tie-ins from other movies? The only thing I can think of, the best tie-in, I guess it's really a centered film, like all on Doctor Strange, like I said. It's like they're going back to their original MCU roots, back to our like Iron Man roots, where it's just Iron Man in the world doing what he does. And yes, he mentions other characters, obviously, like I think it was in the trailer also, this part when he says when the Ancient One states, while the Avengers saves the world, we save the universe, or something of that nature. I can't exactly remember what her exact phrasing was, but that's really like what's going on. Like, we don't even, like, it's great to see how they can go back, just to take a step back, realize what they need to do for this character, what's best for this character, rather than the whole. We're going to tailor to this character first. And that's exactly what they did. Yes, it affected some of the other characters in the movie, but with the all-star cast that we had in this film, it doesn't affect it too much. We got to see like Mordo. We get to see Mordo's scenes with Strange are great. Even though we don't get as much character development with Mordo or the Ancient One, it's great to see see these characters interact with each other. And in this film, this is like a great film, honestly. This is really a great film. There's not really too much I can say in this without getting into the spoiler. Our spoiler will come out Thursday night, I believe. I think it's going to be Thursday night we're going to release it. So this is a great movie. I do recommend you see it. I haven't seen it in the 3D yet, but I think you should go see it in 3D. If it's anything like I imagine it to be, 3D will be the way to see it. I'm not saying that's the only way to see it, but I am saying it would be probably the best way to see it. I've seen it in 2D. I enjoyed it. I'm definitely going to go see it in 3D within the next week. It's amazing. Now, going back to it, it's just so much in this film that to talk about that we can't get into it without being in spoilers. So what I will say is, this is going to be like a wild roller coaster for you. You're going to enjoy it. I don't see anybody not enjoying it. Like, if you love Guardians of the Galaxy, yes, this is a lot stranger, no pun intended. But this film is great. Doctor Strange is it's going to be a hit. I don't know how much it's going to do in the box office. It's not going to be one of their bigger films as far as box office. So don't let that scare you off. There's no superhero fatigue or anything going on. It's just that Doctor Strange is such an obscure character. Honestly, this might have been Marvel's biggest risk, because it's like I don't want to say, like, it is like Inception meets Marvel. You get to see the Marvel action mixed in with like the Inception, like brain twisters and everything. It is so cool. It's so amazing to see this film. The action scenes were choreographed great. We get to see character design. I love the character design, especially like obviously Doctor Strange's character design. I'm gonna like. We get to see Valencia. I think that was his name. His character design, like the eye effect when we seen it in the pictures, it kind of like it doesn't really do it justice. Once you see it in the film and you see like the scarring, I don't know what it really is, but it's great to actually see it in the film. I personally enjoyed it, and it's good. Like, it's great to see stuff like this, and that's really all you have for this movie. Like my down, like I said, character development for side characters such as like Valencia, Mordu suffered a little bit. Even the ancient one suffered a little bit. But my pluses are the special effects are a plus. The story overall is a great story. It's a pretty great story. Casting is a plus, and Benedict Cumberbatch as Strange. Even though we know it's supposed to be Joaquin Phoenix, I can't see anybody actually doing it besides Cumberbatch at this point. Like, he did an amazing job. He played the snug parts amazing. He played the caring parts better. He even did the action great. I can't wait. I can't wait to see this movie in 3D. I have to do it. And as of right now, I haven't seen, like I said, I'm gonna keep hopping. I haven't seen it in 3D. So with that being said, I can't go off the scale. It probably might be a little bit higher once I see this movie in 3D. My overall, I have to guess about an 8.5 out of 10. I'm pretty sure my score is going to go up once I see this in 3D, and once I see it a couple more times, actually take in the actual full extent of this movie. I've only seen this movie once at this point, and I'm not even the biggest Doctor Strange fan. I've only seen like the Netflix movie. That's the furthest like of information I've got from Doctor Strange. If you enjoyed that movie, you're going to enjoy this movie. Honestly, a lot of things that I've seen in this movie kind of mirror that movie. That's the most I can really say. Like, you see a lot in this movie that you would see in that Netflix movie. You can go check it out on Netflix. You just look up Doctor Strange, it'll come up. But like I said, I give this movie an 8.5 out of 10. It's a great movie. I think everyone should go out and check it out. And as always, just follow us on all my social medias will be inside the link. You can follow us on our Facebook to stay up to date, to get an exact time when our spoiler version is going to be dropped. But beyond that, thank you guys for tuning in. And as always, stay lost.